All right, guys, Copper Cutlass here. It's a little Sunday fun day. I'm recovering from last night's fucking debauchery. Fucking still hungover, and it's like 3 p.m. But I figured, you know what? I got to do something. It's fucking hot out. Don't really need to mow the lawn. So I bought a scope from Snap-on. I've learned with the scopes, buy a good one. I had an Altel. It was fucking garbage. That one cost $350. I returned it. Or $280 or something like that. I returned it. And it took a couple years, and then I bought this. So for me, this is a toy. I don't need it, but I can certainly use it in the shop. And here's a few reasons why. When we work on wrecked cars, and you want to see inside the frame rails, if maybe there's a buckle you can't see, or an area, or even inside doors, if there's, you know, instead of taking the whole door apart for the preliminary estimate, I can just shove this little bore scope through the access cap for the handle, see if there's any bent components in there. This has a pretty good picture on it. I messed with it at work a little bit the other day, but this is the first time I'm actually going to use it. So I'm going to pop my carburetor back off. I'm just going to shove it down into the intake track and see how good it looks compared to that Milwaukee I used last time. So, and I'll share the video with you guys as well of everything that that I'm going to just be looking at. This is just for shits and grins. So yeah, just kind of an excuse to play with this shit. And I went by work and picked it up, and I bought it recently, of course. And I'm at the point in my career where I have a lot of tools for my job, so I just buy tools now to keep the guys coming by. But I buy things that I see useful in the garage or at the shop, dual purpose like this. So for me, this is a really, really nice toy that actually will work in the shop as well. So dual purpose. So I'm gonna shut the camera off, take the carb off, take a look at a couple things, and see what it looks like. All right, guys. So I hope this really shows up good on my phone. I'm sure you guys know what that is. That is the intake valve on the number 5 cylinder. So you can see the valves are actually fairly clean. I was worried about getting oil in there. So this camera's got a great clarity. All right, so we're following the floor of the intake track, and you can still see the porting marks. Right there is the split between the intake manifold and the cylinder head, and we're following the port all the way out. As you get further up, it's going to look very wet, dark, because when I took the carburetor off, I did, and that's a really good shot right there. You can see the staining from the oil, and you can actually see where the gasket has been wicking oil, but not a lot. So you can see that staining on the intake track, and it's really not that bad. But it's wet because I hit the accelerator pumps on the carburetor when I took it off. All I had was my wrenches. So this is really, really neat. We're going to this one over here. I'm on the floor of the intake. So right now we're going into the cylinder number 3. And I'm doing this like 1-to-1, guys. So you guys have to bear with me as I put the bends in this thing. But you can see already that's where the intake gasket goes. And you can definitely see, I think it should have a little bit more squish. So that's my problem. I didn't mill the intake manifold. And like an idiot, I thought I would be fine because when I mounted it without a gasket, everything looked good. Well, I forgot that let me try to put a bend in this because we're going in the other way. Okay, so here we go. There we go. Man, that picture quality is really, really good. Trying to maneuver this in there so I can get to the valve. There we go. I'm getting a peek of it. So again, it can be a little tricky. So I'm going to put my phone down for a second, get right back to it. All right, so check this out. This is on cylinder number 6. This is a really good view of it. You could see where the gasket, we got it pretty, it's cut real nice, but you can see the gasket is wet. On this one, it's not fuel. Fuel did not puddle up on that side. I think that's the actual gasket. It's a little wet from oil. But again, we're not sucking in oil at a high rate to the point where the car smokes or anything like that. So really, It's pretty clean. I was actually surprised to be able to get all the way down and see the valve. I'm sure if I had more time to put the right bends in the scope, I'd be able to get you guys pictures of another setup. There we go. I think on this one, we got it made. Maybe, maybe not. So, again, it's all about getting the right bends in it. And right now I'm doing it like one-handed. But you guys got to see what I was talking about, it wicking oil. And this camera is freaking fantastic because I'm actually using the side light on it, not the light in the center, because it will reflect light from the intake runner. So this is really neat. That I'm getting a really good, you know, so it's got that little side light. That way you're not blinding the camera. So I'm going to pop a spark plug off. We'll see what a cylinder looks like. All right, guys. So here we are. Try to get you a better view. This is the top of the piston. I'm getting a glare from my fluorescent light, my shop light. Check that out, man. The carbon buildup on this motor isn't a lot. You do got a little bit of wetness on what appears to be the intake side. But you know what? Look at that crosshatch. You only got a couple of scuff marks, which this is, we're looking at the load side. You only got a couple scuff marks on that cylinder at the very top. So really, this motor's in really good shape still, man, and which is why I'm glad that I'm deciding to just leave it be. Another reason why I got this bore scope, I kind of wanted peace of mind. Just being able to put this in there gives you a little bit of perspective. Now, obviously, I'm not going to check every single cylinder right this moment, but I do plan, maybe during the week, going through everything. Yeah, the crosshatch on this thing is still good. You see the valve reliefs on the piston. And the spark plug itself looks fantastic. I mean, I think if we were burning oil at any extensive rate, you would really see it. So the oil on the threads I would not worry about, because ultimately everything else is dry. So I think it's just whatever oil is on the threads. These plugs look absolutely fantastic. So the tune was on point. And again, you can see the crosshatch there right where, I mean, this looks good. So this makes me happy. I hope I'm not speaking too soon and we blow it up on the last fucking points race. But yeah, obviously you can't check bearings and shit with this. But the oil pressure's still good in the car, so, or the engine, I should say. But there you go. Little neat tool I bought. It wasn't cheap, but you know what? It's peace of mind for something like this. You can use it. It can be very valuable. You know, you can, for me, in the shop, I can check frame rails. Where a lot of car companies and makers are now using like foam for sound deadening in the panels. And when you're doing a repair and you can't see behind the panel, you can stick this little bastard in there and tell the insurance company, I need time to remove interior panels and remove that foam and reinstall that foam so that during the repair process, we don't burn the foam and catch the car on fire. This is very hazardous stuff. So a lot of car manufacturers are using that sound deadening foam on cars, and it's very, very stupid. I don't know why they don't use Q-pads like they used to, but they want to use this foam stuff on cars, and it holds moisture. And anywhere that these cars have foam, they rot out. The Ford Escapes around the wheel openings, they're notorious for that. The first-gen Escapes, I should say. And so this is kind of a really handy tool, and I have been wanting one. They were on sale, still not cheap, but hey, I can say I have one. And I got to show it to you guys. So hopefully you guys can maybe consider something like that for your toolbox, and you can find other useful stuff for it. I know inside your house you can check in walls for stuff, you know. If you're trying to find gold or something. I know plumbers use them. I think this one's actually waterproof, so this would actually work for that too, for like a clogged drain. So really neat little tool. It's got a super small, I'm sure you guys saw it. It's got like a, I think this is like a 3mm head on it. It's very small. And just a really, really nice piece. So I'll let you guys go. Share, like, subscribe. I hope you enjoy this little Sunday Fun Day video, and we'll see you guys next time.